Then we will set up the Google Docs or the Google Apps for them. Is anyone using Google Apps? Yeah, pretty cool. I'll show you just the way that I've set some things up and then a couple of areas. When they join us, there's a few different areas that they'll be logging. They'll get timesheets, worksheets, and SEO worksheets. So let's go over and have a look at that. And this is that stuff that I was talking about that most people won't show you. So the first thing, I'm over at Google Apps. It's pretty easy. A lot of web hosts will automatically install it for you. I'll just sign out so you can see. For me, I use a redirect and I just send them to Melbourne SEO Services /login. And then they'll each get their own email. So it's important that all communication is done through, there's a few different services that we use, but all the communication regarding work is done through this. And the importance of that is so that when they move on, you can, as the project or as the administrator of Google Apps, you can disable accounts later on. So I've had this as well. Like, we used to not have them set up their email account. They'd set up a work email, but it'd be through Gmail. And then I'd be sending them all this sensitive information, login details and all that type of stuff. And it'd be going through an email that they're ultimately going to have control over. I can take, when I run them through this process, I can take ownership of that, and then once they move on, we just disable their accounts. They lose access to the Google Docs, they lose access to the email, all that type of stuff, which is really important. So it's very easy, something worth looking at setting up. The main area that I'm going to show you is under Google Docs here. I'll press this even though that tab's open just in case it logged me out. And the few areas that we need to look at are, I'll show you timesheets first. So the way that we do the directory structure, just on the right hand side here, you've got time logs and you've got staff docs. So from the top, the SEO promo sheet, that's where we log, just down in the bottom left there, that's where we log all of the worksheets that we're working for particular clients in our own sites. And I'll take you in so you can see what one looks like. Beneath that, we'll have our time logs. Everybody gets their own directory and they submit time logs as to when they checked in and when they checked out. They'll get staff docs. Everybody gets their own directory. So if there's something specific to that assistant, then they can drag and drop it into there. Then there's working files, which are more for me. There's some templates. With the raw templates, that might be a timesheet template, or it might be a worksheet template, just so it's easy for me to copy and paste, or the project manager too. Confidential sales, we log stuff there, and then that directory should really be under archive old. But let's have a look at, I think timesheet was the first thing. Grace is one of our star players, and I'll just take you into her, this is her worksheet, not her spreadsheet. Time log, sorry.
Yesterday.
You can see it right at the top. Okay. So one of the things that they do is they have to fill out this timesheet, and they fill this out every week, and they just copy it down, and then I log when I pay it. So let me just scroll down just slightly out of shot there. I'll do it down here. This is a better example. So the position, the hourly rate, they manage all this themselves. They write down when they start, the time that they started and when they ended, and how many hours. This one doesn't look like that maths. Oh yeah, no, that's right. At the moment, she's having problems with brownouts, so she's been getting up at 4 in the morning because she loves to do a really good job for us, and we appreciate it. Then down under the totals column here, we just add that up. The total hours, multiply that by their rate, and then that's how much they get paid. Now, either myself, depending on who's doing it, this is early on when Grace was working, so I'm actually doing the pay here. It's very easy to set up in PayPal that you can set up new emails for your assistants, your project managers to log into your PayPal account, but they don't see everything, and you can restrict their access. So I can tell them they can send money, I can tell them that they can do certain things, but they can't see the total, they can't withdraw funds to their own account. So I set up my project manager with one of those email accounts, and then they can manage the payment. So what they'll do is they'll come in here, add all the hours up, we're very fair. I'll make sure that I include a little bit of extra cash to cover PayPal, because PayPal's a bit greedy and they take, I don't know, 4% or something like that. So we cover the PayPal fees as well. How much is paid, when it's paid by. This is something that they can look at. This is something that we can look at. So that way they know when they've got paid or when we think they've got paid and all that type of stuff. So that's the way that that's one of the docs that they get access to. The other one that we'll have a look at is their worksheet. Now their worksheet, and it varies depending on the person who's doing a task. You can see we put different months down the bottom. We just do one sheet per task. Now we do all of our communication through Basecamp, and I'll take you the way that we use Basecamp, but the Basecamp is good for day-to-day communication backwards and forwards. We use this as a very granular, minute way of seeing exactly what it is that they do.